have passed by since the Friday night earthquake, with Jajarkot's Ramidara as its epicenter. The 6.4 magnitude tremor has resulted in massive loss of lives and properties. Despite all the efforts for the relief and rescue operations, our reporting team, comprising Ramesh Thamala and Sham Shrestha, reporting from Ground Zero, have agonizingly said that the three tiers of the government have done barely enough to make the reeling people, grappling with the pain and lack of relief assistance, feel the presence of the authority at the earthquake-hit region. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Lactating mothers, children and elderly citizens start falling sick in the earthquake-affected region. Victims spend night under open sky. State-owned Nepal Drugs Company says it is not in a position to manufacture adequate cetamol and oral rehydrations amidst lack of budget to manufacture essential medicines. US pushes for a humanitarian pause as Israel says it has cut Gaza in two parts. Israel wants progress in the release of hostage for any ceasefire deal. And the league matches near completion at the ICC World Cup as Sri Lanka takes on Bangladesh, with Lankan semi-final aspirations still intact. At least 3,650 houses have been damaged in the Friday night earthquake in Jajarkot district alone, the epicenter of the 6.4 magnitude tremor. As per the preliminary data provided by the District Administration Office in Jajarkot, the devastating earthquake has left 905 houses completely damaged, while 2,745 houses are partially damaged. According to Jajarkot Chief District Officer Suresh Sunar, majority of the houses from Bheri municipality, numbering 344 houses, were completely damaged. Likewise, 200 houses in Nalgad municipality, 100 in Chedagad, 95 in Kushe rural municipality, 160 in Barekot rural municipality, 1 in Shivalaya rural municipality and 5 in Juni Chande rural municipality have been completely damaged. Most deaths occurred in Nalgad rural municipality of Jajarkot as 55 people were killed there out of a total of 105 deaths recorded in the district. In Rukum West, 2,642 houses were partially damaged, while 4,670 houses received minor cracks. The preliminary estimation has put the damages worth 2 billion rupees in Rukum West. Meanwhile, 11 districts have been affected by the earthquake that had its epicenter in Jajarkot's Ramidara. According to the Ministry of Home Affairs, Jajarkot, Rukum West, Rukum East, Salyan, Rolpa, Nawalparasi East, Dailek, Dang, Jumla and Putan districts have been affected by the earthquake. The death toll in the Friday night earthquake has now reached 157, with Jajarkot registering 105 deaths, while 52 people have been killed in Rukum West. Likewise, 81 people have been injured in Jajarkot and the number of injured in Rukum West is 78. 39 of the injured from Rukum West are being treated at Bheri Hospital in Nepalganj and 25 individuals are being treated at Surkhet Hospital. There has been delay in sending relief materials to the earthquake victims of Jajarkot and Rukum West. Even 2 days after the earthquake, the victims have been compelled to spend nights under the open sky. The earthquake victims who have lost their loved ones and their houses are waiting to receive relief materials during the chilly weather. Some of them are living in tents, while others are worried about shelter and food. 4 local levels of Jajarkot have been worst affected by the earthquake, while there were loss of lives and property in Atbiskot and Sani Bheri of Rukum West. Accurate data regarding the physical damage caused by the earthquake and the type of relief materials and help required for the earthquake victims have yet to be ascertained. Individuals and organizations from various places have announced of distributing relief materials to the earthquake-affected areas. Some have started distributing relief materials with their own efforts. Meanwhile, the government has already announced of distributing relief materials through one-door policy to avoid haphazard distribution. The earthquake that had struck Jajarkot Friday night destroyed a number of settlements, while many people lost their family members and relatives. Majority of the people are grieving the loss of their loved ones at the moment, while they are also worried about the fulfillment of their basic needs. Our colleagues Ramesh Thamala and Shyam Shrestha have reached Jajarkot for ground zero reporting in the aftermath of the earthquake.
जाजरकोटको कोलचौर भन्ने गाउँमा आइपुगेको छु जहाँ मेरो पृष्ठभूमिमा देख्न सकिन्छ हरेक घरहरू
Mohan Biko of Kolchor, Jajarkot had managed to escape and save himself during the earthquake on Friday midnight. He lost 6 family members, including his son, brother's wife and children, and his sister in the earthquake. The bodies of all 6 deceased family members have been kept intact, as his brother, who is in Malaysia for foreign employment, has said that he wanted to bid a final goodbye to them. Similar is the plight of those in Raut village. The entire community grieved when the dead bodies of 60-year-old Suntali Bika and 4-year-old Man Bahadur Lohar were pulled out of the earthquake rubble. Nearby, Urmila Raut also lost her 2 sons aged 9 and 2 in the earthquake. 6 people died in her house in the earthquake, including guests. Meanwhile, those who have survived have been spending the nights under the open sky while the chilling winter season has already set in. Furthermore, all the consumable goods have been buried under the rubble. As per initial data that has been made public, around 4,000 houses have been damaged in Jajarkot, while 105 deaths have been reported. 55 deaths have been recorded in Nalgard municipality alone. Almost 7,000 households have been displaced by the earthquake in Jajarkot and Rukum West, while a blame game has started between the local government and the government at the center. Informing that the earthquake has displaced almost 7,000 households, the Karnali province government has alleged the federal government of not assisting the province government in distributing relief materials. The Karnali province government has claimed that the go-down of World Food Programme in Surkhet has relief materials, including tents. However, the Home Ministry has not coordinated with them, even after written requests to distribute them. The emergency meeting of the Province Disaster Management Committee held yesterday has urged partner organizations to provide relief materials to the earthquake victims and help them in reconstruction through the one-door policy. Although rescue efforts have been prompt after the earthquake, distribution of relief materials has not been effective. The relief materials provided by the 3 tiers of the government, donor agencies and by individuals have been stockpiling at the capital. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what kind of relief materials have they received from the state. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
खाने कुराहरु पनि नपाउँदासम्म हामी आज अल्पत्र छौं
बस्ने बास पनि छैन खाने घाँस पनि छैन त्यसै केही पाएन हामी
आस त छ पाएको छैनौं
तिरपाल पनि छैनन् बास पनि छैन
केही छैन भया कपडा लत्ता अनि भाँडा कुरी सब त्यही पुर्यो
हामी चाहिँ सबैजना भाइरहरु बसिरहेछौं र हाम्रो लागि घाँस बास कपासको चाहिँ जरुरत एकदम जरुरत परेको छ
हामीले केही पनि पाएनै अब हाम्रो घर पनि बथ्यो अनि बस्ने ठाउँ पनि छैन
केही पनि राजा यहाँ जो राजा आए पनि हामीलाई मिल्दैन सर
कुम्भ आउनबित्तिकै अति पछाडी आए हामी रोडमै छौं
यस्तो अवस्थामा हुँदाखेरि सबैले सहयोग गर्नुपर्ने भन्ने मलाई आशा छ
Nepal is listed among the poorest countries in the world, while the country is also highly vulnerable in terms of natural disasters. In the absence of management on infrastructure, it has been revealed that the country is spending some 2 billion rupees on management of people post-natural disasters, impacting the overall economy of the country. Nepal is listed in the 11th position among the earthquake-prone countries and 4th among the countries facing the risk of climate change-induced natural disasters. Earthquake, floods and landslides, fire, among others, are contributing to losses worth 2 billion rupees every year. The 2015 April earthquake resulted in losses worth billions of rupees. In the 6 years following the devastating earthquake of 2015, the state has spent 685 billion rupees in the reconstruction of residential homes, schools, health infrastructures, heritage sites, among others. The expenses have further dented the national economy that is already reeling due to the impacts of the pandemic and other factors. A number of big and small earthquakes have struck different parts of the country, including Bachang, Doti, Acham, Darchula, Kalikot, Jajarkot and Thading. The Friday night earthquake with its epicenter in Jajarkot has also resulted in massive loss of lives and property. It is once again clear that the government needs to spend billions of rupees in relief and reconstruction of the affected region. The government-owned medicine production company Nepal Drugs Limited has said that the demand for medicines cannot be met amid lack of funds. The medicine entity has said that the production of essential drugs, including paracetamol and oral rehydration, could not meet the demand in earthquake-hit district of Jajarkot. The entity can produce up to 150,000 tablets of paracetamol and 48,000 packets of oral rehydration on a daily basis. However, the company has said that failure in purchasing required raw materials has decreased the production capacity. The officials of the entity have said that 4.5 million tablets of paracetamol and 2.7 million oral rehydration packets that was produced and stored for Gandaki province have to be utilized in order to fulfill the demand in Jajarkot. The entity has further said that they have yet to pay 1.5 billion rupees in loan and has been facing difficulty in paying salaries to the employees. The company used to produce 140 different kinds of drugs in the past. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on the state-owned company's failure to manufacture adequate medicines? Your options are A, unaccountable to public, B, commission game, and C, financial crisis. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has arrived in Turkey as he continued his diplomatic tour of the region and a push for a pause in the fighting. Blinken is scheduled to hold talks on the Gaza conflict with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan later today. Meanwhile, on the ground, the Israeli military said it was carrying out a significant strike on Gaza after its forces reached the enclave's coast earlier in the day. An Israeli army spokesman claimed that they have divided Gaza Strip into two, Gaza North and Gaza South, and have reached the coastline and taken control of it. Israel said it opened a 4-hour evacuation window for civilians yesterday as it focuses its offensive on Gaza City and the Northern Strip. Officials say the fight of displaced residents to southern Gaza has deepened the humanitarian crisis there. The leaders of the Palestinian group Fatah have denounced what they described as Israel's barbaric war of extermination and called on the international community to stop the war. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meanwhile arrived in Turkey as he continues his diplomatic tour of the region and a push for a pause in the fighting. Speaking earlier in Baghdad, Antony Blinken said regional leaders would welcome a humanitarian pause in Gaza. Israel says it needs progress on the release of hostages before agreeing to any pause in the offensive. Bombardment has been heavy bombardment has been ongoing through the night across Gaza as the death toll continues to climb. At least 9,770 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. More than 1,400 people have been killed in Israel. The main FARC dissident group has suspended peace talks with the Colombian government. However, it is maintaining a bilateral ceasefire until the end of the year. The main dissident group of former guerrillas, which refused to disarm when the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia accepted a peace deal in 2016, suspended peace talks with the Colombia's government on Sunday. The negotiation, which began on October 16 in the city of Tibu in the country's northeast, was suspended because, according to the guerrillas, the state has totally failed to comply with its commitments. However, the holdouts did not specify what these pledges were. Earlier, the government and the dissidents agreed to observe a ceasefire until January 15. In its Sunday statement, the EMC group said that the truce is still in effect. Colombia's government wants to demobilize some 3,500 dissident FARC fighters and put an end to their armed insurgency once and for all. President Gustavo Petro took office last August, vowing to bring total peace to a country ravaged by decades of civil war between the state and various leftist guerrilla groups, right-wing paramilitaries, as well as the drug traffickers. Iraqis took to the street in Baghdad yesterday to protest against the visit of the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to their country. Blinken made an unannounced stop in Baghdad on Sunday, where he met with Iraqi leaders and toured the region amid spiraling tensions over Israel's war with Hamas. Blinken said U.S. officials were working to secure a humanitarian pause in Gaza that would advance several priorities, including getting more aid in and getting Hamas's hostages out. And before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Lactating mothers, children and elderly citizens start falling sick in the earthquake-affected region. Victims spend night under open sky. State-owned Nepal drugs company says it is not in a position to manufacture adequate cetamol and oral rehydrations amidst lack of budget to manufacture essential medicines. U.S. pushes for a humanitarian pause as Israel says it has cut Gaza in two parts. Israel wants progress in the release of hostage for any ceasefire deal. And the league matches near completion at the ICC World Cup as Sri Lanka takes on Bangladesh with Lankan semi-final aspirations still intact. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.